Hello makers, welcome to another one of my tutorials using the Tim Holtz Eclectic Elements Wonderland Substrates. This Christmas fabric is just so warm and fun, and so I'm going to be making some Christmas candies. I bought some cool vintage tins and I want to fill them with some candy. So the Tidings type fabrics are the ones that I'm going to cut into strips, and then I'm going to sew them together. And I'm going to make peppermint strips out of these. So I'm looking forward to trying that. So this is probably going to be one of the ones, maybe besides the cats, this will be one of the ones that I do probably the most sewing on, about as much sewing as I did on the big candy corn for the Halloween substrate. So it's good for those of us who are not sewers, and just the right amount. So I'm going to be doing that. And that's what will be coming at you next. So I am looking forward to getting started with that. So let's start making some candy. I'm going to be making peppermint sticks. And so to do that, I want to cut the white and the red fabric into stripes. And I like the kind of peppermint sticks that have like the wide and then thin and then wide and then thin and then wide red stripes, and then the kind of medium white in between. So I'm first going to cut the red, and then I'm going to cut the white the same way. I don't have the thing with the roller and to be able to cut everything, so I lined it up as best I could down here and then at the side, and then I went through and I measured it. So this is 2 inches, 3/4 of an inch, 2 inches, 3/4 of an inch, 2 inches. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Now it's 4 pieces thick. So I'm just going to do this slowly. And one of these days I'll invest in the little rotary cutter thing and the mat and the big measuring guide. But for those of us who don't sew enough to use it, that's how I do this, because I'll be sewing along those lines, so I'm not going to see them. Now these 3/4 of an inch may end up being too thin, but I really just want a very thin little bit of red to show through, so I hope this works. I'm kind of just winging this one. All right, and then I'm going to be doing the same thing with the white Tidings type, and I'm going to measure it 1 1/4 inch. So it'll just be a little thicker on each side of the red, the thin red, and in between the thick red. And I hope that looks like a believable peppermint when I'm all done. I finished sewing all the strips that I cut, and it looks pretty much the way I was hoping it. Now, again, people who sew, don't look too closely, or you already probably saw, but nothing is completely even. My little stripes aren't even, all that stuff. It's really not going to matter. But if you're a perfectionist sewer, you know, or a quilter where your lines have to be exact, then, you know, sorry if that drives you crazy. Oh, so you might want to see. So I've done 1/4 inch strip seams. I just sewed right along the edge of the foot. And so that's about 1/4 inch. And on some of them, like the 3/4 of an inch. So the red was a 3/4 inch strip. The white was a 1 1/4 inch strip, and this was a 2 inch strip. So you can see how, you know, it ended up making that little red strip in between the white ones, like a peppermint strip. Okay, so I was gonna mark on this side, but that's gonna be too difficult. I can't do it. So let me do this. I want it this way. So I'm going to go clear over to the side, from the top to the bottom. And where's my pencil? I'll draw it. Oops, I do that all the time. Okay. I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to just flip this and draw another line. Okay. All right, let's just give it a shot because I sewed this down the whole length of the fabric. So I have plenty to, to experiment with. And that's really what I'm doing because I've never made one of these before and I don't have a pattern or anything like that. So I just did a little quick stitch up the side and then across the end. And now I'm going to turn it inside out. And, this usually takes me a couple of tries. So I have a dowel. Okay, and then I'm going to use the dowel to poke the end out. And I'm going to run it along the... Okay, I just figured something out that I need to do. So when I sew it on the other ones, I need to sew this the other way so that the seam is on the back. But I don't think that that's too short. I think that's pretty good. In fact, I'm going to try and turn it back around and sew that across the other way. So it'll be, let's do that. Okay, so what I'm talking about is I sewed it close this way and then I just sewed across that way. But really I should have sewed across and then I should have opened it like this and sewn across that the other way. So I'm going to trim this off. This one will be a little shorter than the other ones. Okay. So I should have done it like this and sewn across it that way. And then the seam will be on the back and it'll just be the peppermint stuff on the front. Make sense? So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. And I'm also going to press this open a little bit and see if it, see how it works. Okay, so I sewed it across the other way. So the seam's going to be on the back. And then this will be the front. And then I will do my not invisible stitch across here. And there is my first peppermint stick. I think it looks great. And then I have a couple of tins. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use. Let me grab one. So I don't know that these will, look how cute this is. And it's so all grungy, but it's pepperminty. I love this. So there's this one, and then there's the King Leo. Whoops. Wow, that was a quick energy food peppermint stick candy. Pure stick candy for the children. For you and the children too. I love it. So I don't know if I can get this off. But anyway, I was going to try and stick some of these coming out of this. I thought that would be really cute. All right, I got it open. It's stinky. There's not really anything in there. It just smells. But but I can put some, I don't know, stuff in there, and then these coming out of it. I think that's super cute, right? So I'm going to make some more. I'm going to close this. And I think I'm going to have to go with the taller one. This one's really old. And I have no idea what's inside of it. Bonds, mints. Oh, I don't know which one to use now. Don't you love when you have creative decisions to make? So I'll kind of figure it out. And I may go grab some greenery tomorrow from one of the stores. Kind of stick that in there with a little bit of, I don't know, styrofoam. And I think we're good to go. Super cute. All of the peppermint sticks are sewn and stuffed. And I started stuffing them before I realized that I really needed to iron the end with these pushed in. And so the first couple really, but then once I realized that, they're nice and even. So, you know, I learn as I go. And then now I can take this and I fold it like this with the seam in the center back. And I'll do my quick stitch, and then I'll just squeeze the stuffing down so that it's stuffed. And then I have those. I could stack them like this if I want. I can put them in one of my tins, that kind of thing. And then I had, so this is 6, and then I had 2 more. So what I did with those is cut them, and I cut them into 4 pieces, 2.5 inches wide. And then I did the same thing. I ironed them closed and then stuffed them. So they're about, I think now they're about 2 inches long, maybe. Yeah, about 2 inches long or so. And so probably by the time I get it sewn, I'll be about an 1.25 inches and 3/4. So anyway, I wanted to make these like little candies. And then I'm going to take some just cello bags that I have, and I will cut these. Let's see. I think that'll be good. So I'll probably just cut along the edge here of the bag. Like, am I in there? So this is how I'm going to do it. I just would take extra packaging or something like this. I have a bunch of these. And let's see. I'm going to roll it. You want it over just a little, not you don't want it too close. So you want to get plenty of it to be crossing over. So you can see I have almost the whole back side of it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is on the back side, like that. And then once it's sewn, I'll do that to it. And then over here, same thing. I'll twist it. Just like if it was candy. I hope that works. Maybe once I get it sewn together. If not, I'll have to do it long ways to give me enough to twist it. But then it looks like little candies. And I took the Air Bonds one, and I'm going to just kind of plop them in there. I think that'll be really cute. All right, so that's where we're going with that. Haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with these, but right now I have to do my invisible, not really invisible, closure stitch on these. I'm getting better at it though. Here they are, and I'm really excited that I got to use both of my tins since I made 2 different types of peppermints. So the little wrapped peppermints, I went ahead and put in the smaller Air Bonds peppermint tin. Add a little bit of greenery, and I have some crinkle paper underneath. I think this would be really cute on a desk or maybe a countertop or even a little coffee bar, something like that. And then in my King Leo peppermint stick tin, I put some of those popcorn styrofoam things and attach the lid on the back. Then I have the sticks coming out, a little bit of greenery. And I think this would be really cute just about anywhere. Even if you put them together, on a little, area where you could make hot cocoa or have peppermint tea or something like that. How fun is that? So I really enjoyed making these. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me in the comments below or on my blog at playswellwithpaper.blogspot.com. I'll be glad to answer them to the best of my ability. I want to thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I want to wish you a very creative day.